Hello everyone, welcome back to F1 2021, My Team Career Mode. Today we are doing the Italian Grand Prix. This is my favourite race that I've done. It honestly is just amazing. So, here doing qualifying, I just wanted to see some. Lando was racing me and I was pretty annoyed because that kind of did ruin my lap. And so here, I didn't realise Schumacher was going to come out, and I didn't move out the way for Lando, and so he crashes into Schumacher, and he ends up getting out the session. Now that's 100% my fault, and there was stuff I could have done to prevent it, but I chose not to, and Mick actually gets a 5-place grid penalty for it.
Welcome back to one of only two countries that has held a race every year since the very first Formula One World Championship in 1950. It is, of course, Italy, one of the great racing nations. And it's time to get underway for the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Why don't we discuss McLaren? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Sainz, Charles Leclerc and Vettel, Gasly, Stroll, Ricciardo and Max Verstappen. They've taken a grid penalty. Russell, James, Antonio Giovinazzi and Fernando Alonso. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mazepin, Norris, Nicholas Latifi and Esteban Ocon. Tsunoda, Matsushita, they've taken a grid penalty. Mick Schumacher and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
So we are on our formation lap now. See, P12 because Nobuharu had to get a new engine, I believe. And so I don't have the best qualifying pace, but I do have pretty good race pace. And in the end, it actually worked out for the better for me and Nobuharu with the positions. So, reforming the grid now. I don't know what to expect from this race. I'm not very good at Italy, and so it's this is just gamble. I'm using the freshest engine, apart from the gearbox, and it is 5 red lights, and away we go. Now here we have an incredible start. There you can see, I think that was Latifi just really making it wide. But we dive down the inside and we get right next to Pierre Gasly. And we are ahead with Max Verstappen, Stroll. Oh no, that is Vettel, my apologies. But we are past a whole bunch of faster cars here. Now our car, there you can see we just got past Ricciardo, but we end up getting the position back because we screwed that corner up, and we end up actually giving the position to Gasly as well, which is who I was aiming to overtake. Now our car is essentially built for this track. We have, with all the upgrades to the aerodynamics, we have so much less drag than the rest. And so when we get into summer slipstream, it's kind of a death trap for them. Here you can see we're in the slipstream of Gasly, and we have a reasonable gap, and it just went. We actually go wide here. Vettel tries to get advantage of that. We don't let him. Ricciardo actually goes in. I think he had the collision here. But at the same time, also, I don't know what happened here. Collision with Gasly. I don't see any collision thing happen there, and there was no noise, which normally is. But anyway, lap 3. Vettel, Verstappen tries to overtake us now because he overtook Gasly. Lap 4, he actually does overtake us, but you see we're on the slipstream. Gasly's behind us with falling ERS, and so I'm like, I'm not going to try and get the position back because I was trying to give him the position anyway because when I've had it Red Bull, that was just too much of a challenge for me right here. I decided, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to use it to tow me along though, and so I don't let him get away. But this is what I'm talking about. That's the you saw the gap that we were with DRS, ERS, and the car's just default drag reduction that we've given it. We actually are able to overtake him, but here we just let him keep the position because I want to get like a massive gap between me and Gasly. But Lando Norris catches up to us anyway, and with the tow from Max Verstappen and ERS deployment, even though he has DRS, we are stopping him from being able to make a move, essentially. He could have gone on the inside and maybe tried to make a move like that, but he didn't, so what you gonna do? But on to lap 8. Lewis Hamilton actually retired. I think he had a collision with Sergio Perez because it came up with some information on the Red Bull.
Strategy is available on the MFD,
and then it just came straight up with Lewis Hamilton retiring. Yeah, they're offering me a new strategy, but I do think, and I'm like, nah, I want to keep my current one onto the mediums. But actually later on in the same lap, they're like, oh, you want this strategy again? I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to fight you. And so I do it. I go on to the past this lap along with Max Verstappen as us coming around the final corner again, going into the pits. It does the like bad camera for the pits again, where it just shows the shoulder of a pit crew member again. But this is a really fast pit stop. It's 2 seconds, and we end up jumping Max. And so I'm pretty thrilled about that pit stop because they don't often happen. They don't often happen to us. So when they do happen, I welcome them. But lap 11 now, the safety car is in. So everyone starts racing again. You can see an Alfa Romeo wing just fly off, and we actually have to concede a position to Leclerc because there was no room. I had to give it, otherwise I would just crash straight into the back of it. But lap 13, Lando Norris actually overtakes us on the inside on the last corner. And so it's not looking good for us currently. Series just went off. But Max Verstappen also actually overtakes us. I'm trying to look for somewhere. I could try to go down in the middle, but Lando closes the door on her. So I had to concede the position. Then again, it is not looking good for us currently. But it does improve. Lap 14, I've got DRS on Verstappen and Lando. Now I just full on commit to that, and I do have to exceed the track limits. But I had to commit, because otherwise I just would have just straight up got over the game if I did not commit to it. Because I knew I could have done it. If I didn't commit, I would have been, oh my god, why did I do that? But here, I try to push Max Verstappen away, and I think I just kind of get caught off. Like, I think my mind went blank, and I end up pushing off, which causes me time, and so Vettel actually just gets past us, and so does Max. So we're going down the inside. If I did not cut the corner as much as I did there, I would have just crashed, and that would not have been good for the team or me, because I would have got really pissed off. So we're ahead of Vettel, and now Verstappen has to fight Vettel, so I should give us more time. Vettel actually crashes into the back of us because I think he tried to make a late move. Giovinazzi is also out, and so they deployed the virtual safety car. What happened there? I think Vettel tried to overtake us, but he did a late move and he ends up crashing. Charles Leclerc is also out, so now we are P4. I think Charles just had a mechanical failure. Lap 17 now, we are fighting Verstappen yes again. He actually takes us out, so we've got to fake him on the outside. We're going to go back on the inside, and then we're going to try to go back onto the outside, but Ocon is there. And so it kind of caught me off guard, and so he ends up crashing into us, and we had to go wide and cut the corner. But now it is me, Schumacher in the Haas, and then Matsushita. Now Schumacher's on the softs. I think he might have crashed into the Alfa Romeo earlier. So he pits on this lap. And so now it's just me and Matsushita on lap 18. We are P5 and P6, and this is when the race just goes from average to fucking exceeding. Like the race from here is just a non-stop, a thrill fest. So I'm like helping Matsushita along here, and then lap 18 he kind of gets this urge to like prove that it was a good idea that we carried on, that we signed his contract for the last half. And so he actually overtakes us here, but with our slipstream and ERS, we overtake him now. He keeps it in the corner though. He keeps it on the inside. We then slot straight back behind him. ERS deployment. He gets DRS. I thought I was behind him in the DRS zone, but I guess not. Doesn't matter. He actually tried to close the door on us, but we don't back out, and that's where he was like, okay, I'll back out. And we get ahead, but he is still next to us. And so we are going side by side here, wheel to wheel racing with our teammate, something that's never happened in this series before. And here is where he backed out. He didn't have to back out. I was willing to leave him room. This is incredible racing with no less than my teammate. This is the best that we have ever scored together as a team. Lap 19, he does the same overtake. I'm now definitely behind him here in the DRS detection point. So I've got DRS, I've got ERS, I've got the slipstream. It is literally just a slingshot maneuver that we're doing here now. But honestly, I rate this racing, because he didn't have to race me. It's amazing that he was up that high, and it was kind of a risk to race me. But here we are basically just helping each other out whilst getting some incredible entertainment. This racing was so fun to do while I was playing, which is why I've just kept it how I was playing, because it's good. I really enjoyed it, and I love the replay cameras, but at the same time it doesn't really show what you go through. Here he backs out, I don't know why. I was willing to leave him room, which is why I ended up locking up, because I saw that he backed out, and so I kind of got confused. I ended up applying too much pressure to the brake. But he comes at us again in this corner. We do actually ease off the accelerator to get DRS, but Yuki Tsunoda actually retires from the session, and it puts a stop to this incredible racing, and I actually was so disappointed when this happened. So it's lap 25 now. I'm trying to get us higher now because we're just behind. So I overtake Verstappen, I try to hold him off, but then I thought Matsushita was actually Verstappen, so I'm trying to push him off, like, so he'll back down. But then I realised it's actually us, so I stopped. And so now we are P4 and P5, which is incredible for our car. We have Ocon just behind us, and we have like the rest of the grid just behind us, as you might see on the track map. And at the top is me and Matsushita. It is incredible for the team to have this, because this is our first successful race as a team. First race where me and Matsushita are actually working as a team, more than just battling each other. Because even though we were battling, it was more of like, look, I'm going to prove to you that I deserve the second half of the contract. And it actually, we were kind of like slingshotting each other. So he would go faster with slipstream, he would then put in like a faster lap, and then I would get DRS and slingshot me forward and just repeat. But here, Matsushita actually gets a go on us. That I actually kind of make it so Max Verstappen has nowhere to make the move. But he ends up going on the inside. And it was about to be 3 wide into that corner, and it kind of is 3 wide here. But here I'm kind of slamming the door shut on Max. I'm trying to keep him off. Now that is 100% on me. I should not have done that move. That is a bit of dirty driving, but I really wanted me and Matsushita to have P4 and P5. And after that, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And so I kind of just relaxed a bit. I'm not going 100% because I don't want to like have it so Matsushita doesn't have any assistance from me, because obviously we still are a team. But it's the final lap. Valtteri Bottas won the race, and we came P4 and P6 as a team, and Nobuharu Matsushita actually gets driver of the day, which he totally deserves. Solid performance from the team.
Here we are then, a thoroughly deserved win in Italy after another excellent Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So let's review the updated driver standings. After today's performance, Valtteri Bottas secures the championship lead. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Nobuharu Matsushita gets my vote today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
So now, we are at the end of today's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did racing. Make sure you check out the next race, which is the Russian Grand Prix. And I will see you all later. Good.